Have you ever felt so tired that even holding on feels impossible? When every effort seems wasted and nothing is going right? Don't scroll away. This moment could change everything. Because sometimes the message you need the most finds you right before you're about to give up. Stay with me. You're closer than you think. 1. Why giving up feels tempting during hard times. There are moments in life when everything feels too heavy to carry, when no matter how much effort you put in, the results don't seem to match. You start questioning yourself, what's the point? That feeling, the urge to give up, often comes not because you're weak, but because you've been strong for too long. It's the body and mind's natural response to exhaustion, disappointment, and unmet expectations. When we face repeated failures or delays, our brains begin to associate effort with pain instead of progress. You might start thinking, maybe this dream isn't meant for me. But here's the truth. Even the most successful people in the world, from inventors to athletes to spiritual leaders, have stood right where you are now. They've battled moments of doubt and defeat before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison, for example, failed over 1,000 times before creating a working light bulb. Imagine if he had stopped at attempt number 999. Giving up feels tempting because your mind craves relief from pressure and uncertainty. It's easier to stop than to keep pushing without a clear sign of success. But in those very moments when you want to quit, you're usually much closer to a breakthrough than you think. Growth by its nature is uncomfortable. Seeds break before they sprout. Muscles tear before they grow. Strength is always born from resistance. The key is to recognize that the feeling of wanting to give up is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That simple shift in perspective turns frustration into fuel. Remember, your path doesn't need to look perfect for it to be meaningful. Progress is still progress, even if it's slow or messy. You're building resilience, patience, and courage, qualities that only hard times can teach. So when that voice whispers, you can't do this, answer back with calm confidence. Maybe not yet, but I'm still trying. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you haven't given up. And that means you're already stronger than you think. 2. Hidden purpose behind your struggles. When life throws challenges your way, it's natural to ask, why me? It feels unfair when you're doing everything right, yet things still go wrong. But here's something most people overlook. Every struggle carries a hidden purpose. The pain you're facing right now isn't punishment. It's preparation. Think about it. Diamonds form under pressure, gold is purified through fire, and seeds grow only after being buried in darkness. The same principle applies to your life. Struggles are not there to break you. They're there to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Often you don't see the purpose while you're in the storm, but when you look back later, you realize that the storm taught you lessons nothing else could. Maybe your struggle is teaching you patience when everything feels delayed. Maybe it's building empathy so you can understand others deeply. Or perhaps it's pushing you toward a new direction that you wouldn't have discovered without the setback. Every difficulty plants a seed of growth, but you must be willing to look for it. Let's take an example. Imagine someone loses a job they loved. In that moment, it feels like the end of everything. But months later, that same person might start a small business, pursue a hidden passion, or find a better opportunity that aligns with their true purpose. The struggle that once felt unbearable becomes the turning point that redefines their entire life. Sometimes the purpose behind your pain is not about changing your situation, it's about changing you. It molds your character, deepens your faith, and teaches you how to rely on inner strength rather than external validation. When you start seeing challenges this way, they lose their power to destroy you. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this trying to show me? That question shifts your mindset from frustration to growth. Every hardship you faced has added something valuable to your journey. Resilience, perspective, courage, or clarity. Remember, purpose doesn't always appear in the moment. Sometimes it's only revealed after the battle is over. Trust that your current pain has meaning, even if you can't see it yet. One day you'll look back and realize, that struggle was exactly what you needed to become who you were meant to be. 3. The power of small, consistent steps. When we dream big, it's easy to believe that success requires massive leaps, bold, dramatic actions that change everything overnight. But in reality, true progress rarely happens that way. Real change is built quietly through small, consistent steps taken every single day, even when no one is watching. Think about how water shapes stone, not through force, but through steady persistence over time. The same principle applies to your goals, healing, and growth. One small step, repeated with consistency, has more power than one giant effort followed by burnout. The problem is, we often underestimate the impact of daily effort because it doesn't produce instant results. We want visible success now, but behind every overnight success story lies years of unseen work, small choices, early mornings, late nights, and countless moments of discipline. Let's say you want to improve your health. You don't need to run a marathon tomorrow. Just start by walking for 15 minutes today. Want to grow spiritually or mentally? Read one page, listen to one positive message, or pray sincerely for a few minutes daily. Those actions may feel insignificant, but they build momentum. Over time, small steps compound into something powerful. Habits that shape your entire life. Consistency also strengthens confidence. Every time you show up, even in small ways, you send a message to your mind. I'm capable. I'm committed. That belief grows stronger with each repetition. And when motivation fades, as it always does, discipline takes over. The small step becomes a natural part of who you are. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with a single step, not a sprint. If you're overwhelmed by how far you still have to go, shift your focus to what you can do today. You don't need to see the entire staircase, just climb the next step in front of you. Every small effort matters. Every act of discipline is progress. Every step forward, no matter how tiny, moves you closer to your vision. Success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. So don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect plan. Just begin, stay consistent, and trust that each step is carrying you exactly where you need to be. 4. Stories of people who didn't quit sometimes. The best way to remember why you shouldn't give up is to look at those who refused to. History is full of people who stood at the edge of failure, who were told they weren't good enough, talented enough, or lucky enough, but chose persistence over surrender. Their stories remind us that the difference between failure and success often comes down to one simple decision: not giving up. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she faced 12 rejections from publishers. She was a single mother, struggling financially, and nearly gave up on her dream. But she kept writing, believing her story mattered. The very book that was once rejected is now one of the most beloved series in the world. Or think about Walt Disney, fired from a newspaper job because he lacked creativity. His first animation company failed, and he went bankrupt. Yet he didn't stop imagining. His persistence built Disneyland, a place that continues to inspire millions. Then there's Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to try his fried chicken recipe at age 65. His success didn't come early, but it came because he didn't quit. Even in the spiritual realm, stories of perseverance shine. Prophet Yusuf, Joseph, peace be upon him, faced betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. Yet every hardship was a step toward his ultimate purpose. His story teaches us that patience through pain often leads to divine reward. What all these examples share is a common truth. Success is never a straight path. It's a winding road filled with closed doors, detours, and doubts. But those who make it to the top aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who keep moving when everyone else stops. So when you feel like giving up, remember, every great story has a chapter where the hero almost quits. That moment of choice defines everything that follows. You may not be where you want to be yet, but your persistence is building the foundation for your breakthrough. Stay patient. Keep pushing. Your story might be the next one that inspires the world to never give up. 5. Shifting focus from failure to growth. Failure is something everyone experiences, but how you see it determines how you rise from it. Most people treat failure as a dead end, a signal that they're not good enough or that their dream isn't meant to happen. But in reality, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. The key is learning to shift your focus from what went wrong to what you can learn and how you can grow from it. When something doesn't work out, your first instinct might be disappointment or self-blame. That's natural. But once the emotion passes, ask yourself, what did this teach me? Maybe it revealed a weakness you can improve, a skill you can develop, or a direction that wasn't truly right for you. Every mistake is feedback, not a verdict. When you start viewing setbacks as lessons instead of losses, you turn failure into your most powerful teacher. Consider Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of quitting, he used that rejection as fuel to train harder. He later said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." That mindset, seeing growth where others see failure, changed everything. Growth happens when you choose reflection over regret. It's about asking, what can I do better next time? What can I change? This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything's fine. It means not letting the pain define you. Spiritually and emotionally, growth through failure deepens your humility and wisdom. It reminds you that strength isn't about never falling. It's about learning how to stand up stronger each time you do. Life's challenges are not there to destroy you, but to develop the version of you that can handle what's coming next. So the next time something doesn't go your way, don't label it as failure. See it as redirection, a necessary step toward your evolution. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control how you respond. And when you respond with growth instead of giving up, you turn every setback into a stepping stone toward your success. Remember, failure doesn't end your story. It refines it. 6. How pain builds inner strength. Pain is something we all try to avoid. Emotional pain, disappointment, heartbreak, loss, or failure. But what if pain isn't your enemy? What if it's actually one of your greatest teachers? The truth is, pain has a way of shaping us that comfort never can. It breaks down our ego, tests our limits, and reveals strength we never knew we had. Think about it. The strongest people you know didn't become that way because life was easy. They became strong because they faced situations that forced them to grow. Every trial you've survived has left behind a lesson, a scar, and a deeper understanding of yourself. Pain refines you. It strips away what's unnecessary, revealing resilience, patience, and wisdom. When life hurts, it's easy to believe something's wrong, that you're being punished or forgotten. But pain often means transformation is happening. Just as muscles grow stronger only after they're stretched and torn during exercise, your inner strength develops when your heart and mind are challenged beyond comfort. For example, someone who's faced rejection becomes more grounded in self-worth. A person who's experienced loss learns the value of time and love. And someone who's been through failure learns humility, perseverance, and faith. Pain doesn't weaken you. It awakens the power that's been inside you all along. Spiritually, pain connects you to something higher. When you reach a point where you can't rely on your own strength, you start to rely on faith. And that's where true peace begins. You stop asking, why me? And start realizing, maybe this is preparing me. Inner strength isn't built in times of comfort. It's built in seasons of struggle. Every tear, every sleepless night, every silent battle is shaping you into someone unshakable. The version of you that will emerge after this season will be wiser, calmer, and more powerful, because they'll have faced pain and transformed it into purpose. So don't curse your pain. Don't rush to escape it. Learn from it, grow through it, and let it strengthen your spirit. One day you'll look back and realize the pain that once broke you was actually building the foundation of your greatest strength. 7. The importance of faith and patience. When life feels uncertain and nothing seems to be moving forward, faith and patience become your greatest allies. They are the invisible forces that keep you grounded when everything around you feels unstable. Faith gives you hope in what you cannot see, and patience gives you the strength to wait for what you've prayed and worked for, even when there's no sign of progress. In moments of struggle, it's easy to lose faith. You might think, if my prayers were meant to be answered, it would have happened by now. But faith isn't about seeing instant results. It's about trusting that something is happening behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. Just like a seed buried underground, growth is taking place in silence long before you see the sprout. Patience, on the other hand, is the bridge that connects faith to fulfillment. It's not just about waiting, it's about how you wait. You can wait in frustration and fear, or you can wait with calm confidence, knowing that timing matters as much as effort. Sometimes what you're praying for isn't being delayed. It's being prepared. The universe or God is aligning things for your good in ways you can't yet understand. Think of Prophet Ayub, Job, peace be upon him, who endured years of pain, loss, and illness with unwavering faith. He didn't give up hope in his Creator, and when relief finally came, it was far greater than what he had lost. His story is a timeless reminder that patience is never wasted. It's always rewarded. Faith and patience together create inner peace. They remind you that even if life doesn't unfold according to your plan, there is still a plan, one that's wiser than yours. You might not see the full picture now, but every delay, every detour, and every disappointment is part of a bigger design that will make sense one day. So when you're tired of waiting, don't lose faith. Keep showing up, keep believing. Be patient with the process and trust that what's meant for you is already making its way toward you. Because faith without patience is fragile. But when the two walk hand in hand, miracles happen. 8. Turning setbacks into fuel for success. Every person who has achieved something meaningful in life has faced setbacks, failures, rejections, disappointments, or unexpected detours. What separates those who rise from those who quit isn't the absence of struggle, it's how they use it. Setbacks can either drain you or drive you, and that choice belongs entirely to you. When something doesn't go as planned, it's easy to feel defeated. You might think you've wasted time or effort, but if you shift your perspective, you'll realize that every setback holds valuable data. It reveals what doesn't work, what needs to change, and where your true strengths lie. Instead of treating setbacks as walls that stop you, see them as mirrors reflecting what needs to be refined. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He was fired from the very company he founded, Apple. It was one of the biggest public failures in business history. But instead of letting it destroy him, he used that pain as motivation. He started new ventures, learned from his mistakes, and eventually returned to Apple to lead it into one of the most successful eras in technology. That's what it means to turn a setback into fuel. Even on a personal level, setbacks build qualities success depends on: humility, endurance, and perspective. When everything goes smoothly, you learn little. But when things fall apart, you're forced to grow, to think differently, and to find strength you didn't know existed. Sometimes failure is not a punishment. It's a redirection, pushing you towards something better aligned with your purpose. To turn your setbacks into fuel, you must ask better questions. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow because of it?" That shift transforms frustration into forward motion. Remember, rockets need resistance to lift off. Likewise, your dreams need challenges to push them higher. Each setback you've faced has added a layer of wisdom and resilience that comfort never could. So the next time life knocks you down, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of a stronger chapter. Pick up the lessons, keep your fire alive, and let every disappointment become the energy that drives you closer to your destiny. 9. How to silence self-doubt and negativity. Self-doubt is one of the biggest reasons people give up. Not because they're incapable, but because they start believing they are. That quiet, persistent voice that says, "You're not good enough. You'll never make it." Or, "Who do you think you are?" can be more destructive than any external obstacle. Learning to silence that voice and replace it with truth is one of the most powerful skills you'll ever master. The first step is recognizing that self-doubt is not fact. It's fear dressed as logic. It appears whenever you step outside your comfort zone because your mind is wired to protect you from risk or failure. But protection isn't always progress. Growth requires discomfort. The very presence of self-doubt means you're doing something brave, something that matters. When those negative thoughts arise, don't fight them. Question them. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Most of the time, self-doubt can't survive when faced with evidence. Remind yourself of what you've already overcome. Every time you've struggled and made it through, you've built proof that you can handle more than you think. Surround yourself with voices that uplift, not drain you. Listen to empowering content, spend time with supportive people, and speak to yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a loved one. The way you talk to yourself shapes the way you live. Start replacing "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "it's impossible" with "it's challenging, but I'll figure it out." Those small shifts in language create powerful shifts in mindset. Also, limit exposure to negativity, whether it's toxic people, discouraging media, or your own inner critic. You can't heal in an environment that constantly reminds you of your doubts. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Remember, even the most confident people feel fear and self-doubt. They just don't let it stop them. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. Every time you take action while feeling uncertain, your doubt loses power. So when that inner voice whispers, "You're not enough," answer firmly, "Maybe not yet, but I'm growing, and I'm not quitting." Because silence isn't about removing doubt completely. It's about turning down its volume until your faith becomes louder. 10. The truth. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. When you're exhausted, frustrated, and ready to quit, it often means you're standing right on the edge of your breakthrough. That's the tricky thing about life. The hardest moments usually come just before things begin to shift. The night always feels darkest right before dawn. And in that darkness, it's easy to believe nothing's changing, but in reality, something is. You just can't see it yet. Breakthroughs don't usually arrive with warning signs or fanfare. They come quietly after long seasons of struggle, testing, and waiting. It's the moment when everything you've endured, the pain, the lessons, the patience, suddenly aligns into something meaningful. The reason most people never experience it is because they stop trying right before it happens. They walk away while the finish line is just a few steps ahead. Think of a miner digging for gold. He spends days, weeks, even months breaking rock after rock, finding nothing. One day he gives up, not knowing he was just 3 feet away from the gold vein. Life works exactly like that. The effort that feels pointless today might be the final push before everything changes. When things feel unbearably heavy, remind yourself, pressure always comes before progress. The resistance you're facing isn't a sign to quit. It's confirmation that you're close. If you've come this far, it's not by accident. You've already proven you can survive the hardest parts. What's left is to keep going a little longer, with faith that the breakthrough is already in motion. Sometimes your breakthrough isn't about external success, it's internal. It's the moment you realize you've become stronger, calmer, and more grounded than ever before. That shift inside you is just as powerful as any visible result. So don't mistake silence for absence, or delay for denial. The universe, or God, works in timing that's always perfect, even when you don't understand it. Your job is to keep showing up, keep believing, and keep moving forward. You're closer than you think, closer to peace, to clarity, to the moment that makes all the pain worth it. Hold on a little longer, because one day soon, you'll look back and say, "That's why I didn't give up." No matter how heavy today feels, your strength is greater than your struggle. Keep believing in yourself. Comment below, "I'm not giving up. My breakthrough is coming." Subscribe to Quantum Power for more inspiration.